The 1950s, an age of chrome, confidence, and casseroles. America had just won the war, and now it was hungry. For the first time, families filled shiny new kitchens with refrigerators, toasters, and hope. The housewife became the symbol of modern perfection, and convenience became the ultimate luxury. Food companies raced to feed the future, promising faster meals, brighter colors, and space-age flavors. Every meal was a celebration of progress, and every product a promise of a better tomorrow. But not all of those promises lasted. Some foods burned brightly in the atomic glow of the 1950s and then quietly disappeared. Today, we're opening the pantry of the past to rediscover 12 plus one forgotten American foods that define the 1950s. The bold, the bizarre, and the ones that made us believe the future could be eaten with a fork. It all began with a mistake and a miracle. In 1953, Swanson accidentally overproduced 260 tons of frozen turkey. To avoid financial disaster, one clever salesman had an idea: pack the leftovers into aluminum trays with potatoes, peas, and stuffing, and sell it as a complete meal. The TV dinner was born. It promised modernity, freedom, and the thrill of eating in front of your brand new television. Families across America gathered around glowing screens with foil trays in hand. Not realizing they were eating history, it turned leftovers into a revolution and changed dinner forever. Number 1950's dinner was complete without it: the shimmering, wobbly wonder called Jell-O salad. It came in layers: lime with cottage cheese, orange with carrots, and sometimes, terrifyingly, tuna suspended in lemon gelatin. It was a symbol of creativity and control. Housewives sculpting perfection from powder and water. Cookbooks called it the miracle dessert, but to modern eyes, it looks more like a science experiment gone wrong. Still, it defined the decade: bright, strange, and proudly artificial. It wasn't dinner without a little jiggle. Spam had saved soldiers during World War II. Salty, portable, indestructible. But when peace returned, Americans didn't want to give it up. So Hormel rebranded Spam as the centerpiece of countless post-war recipes: Spam sandwiches, Spam salad, Spam, and lima beans. It was the taste of victory, even if it came from a can. Eventually, the glamour faded, but for a time, Spam was more American than apple pie. From battlefield rations to backyard barbecues, Spam was the meat that fed the future. Before Oreos dominated shelves, there was Fudge Town, soft chocolate cookies with creamy fudge filling. Introduced by Burries in the mid-50s, they were richer, thicker, and made to look fancy, as if luxury came in every bite. Kids loved them, adults adored them. But when corporate mergers and rebrands hit in the 70s, Fudge Town quietly disappeared. Still, for millions of boomers, it remains the sweet taste of after-school joy. Before Oreos ruled the world, Fudge Town built the road. In the 1950s, Italian food meant one thing: Chef Boyardee. What started as a Cleveland restaurant became a national empire thanks to canned ravioli and spaghetti that promised a taste of old-world Italy in 5 minutes. It was marketed as sophisticated, exotic, and family-friendly. And for post-war America, that was irresistible. Today, it's easy to laugh at the mushy noodles and sweet tomato sauce. But in its time, Chef Boyardee was a symbol of modern luxury. It brought Italy to America, one can at a time. Coffee was the fuel of the 1950s. But in a world obsessed with convenience, who had time to brew? Enter Borden's instant coffee crystals, a miracle of modern science that let you make a perfect cup in seconds. Advertisements showed smiling housewives and businessmen amazed at the speed of progress. Of course, it tasted nothing like real coffee, but that wasn't the point. It was efficiency in a cup, caffeine for the atomic age. Because the future didn't have time to percolate. Before it became the astronaut's beverage of choice, Tang was just another orange powder. Introduced in 1957, General Foods promised fresh orange flavor without the orange. It was sweet, space-age, and loaded with artificial vitamins. Mothers loved the convenience. Kids loved the color. When NASA astronauts drank it on space missions in the 60s, Tang became a symbol of America's future, proof that science could conquer even thirst. It wasn't from a tree, it was from the future. In the 1950s, America discovered party food, and nothing said elegance quite like Campbell's noodle rings. Circular pasta molded with gelatin and tomato soup. Served cold, decorated with olives or celery. It looked more like modern art than lunch. For the suburban hostess, it was a masterpiece of mid-century sophistication. Easy, beautiful, and perfectly unsettling. By the 70s, changing tastes sent it to the graveyard of weird recipes. But for a decade, it ruled the dinner table. When food was art, and art was Jell-O. Long before Kraft's blue boxes, there was Libby's canned macaroni and cheese, pasta and sauce sealed in tin and ready to heat. It was sold as the ultimate time saver for the modern mother. One can, one pan, dinner done. The problem? It looked like baby food and tasted like paste. Still, it embodied everything the 1950s believed in: convenience, consistency, and control. Because in the 50s, progress came in a can. In a decade obsessed with innovation, even peanut butter wasn't safe. Peter Pan introduced a whipped version that was light, airy, and easy to spread, the result of hydrogenated oils and new emulsifiers. It was marketed as the peanut butter of the future, but the texture was strange and it spoiled quickly. By the 1960s, it was gone, but its influence lived on in every creamy spread that followed. The peanut butter that flew too close to the sun. Yes, it was real. Kellogg's briefly tested a root beer, flavored cereal in the late 50s, sweet, bubbly, and bizarre. It promised the fun of soda with the energy of breakfast. Children loved it. Parents hated it. Nutritionists panicked. By 1959, it was gone, remembered only by those few who believed breakfast could taste like a float. The cereal that tried to turn breakfast into a soda fountain. Before Marie Callender or Sara Lee, there was Banquet frozen cream pies, chocolate, banana, coconut, all ready to thaw and serve. They embodied the decade's dream, effortless luxury. Every slice looked perfect, every bite predictable. Banquet promised homemakers a dessert as flawless as the ads. No baking, no mess, no failure. For many, it was the taste of pride and perfection in a box. The pie that proved perfection could come from a freezer. Our plus one comes from a breakfast bowl that started strong but faded fast: Pep cereal. Launched as the Sunshine Vitamin Cereal, Pep promised energy, youth, and even radiant skin. It was the breakfast of the future, fortified, efficient, and optimistic. But as the 50s gave way to the 60s, Americans wanted flavor, not fortification. Kellogg quietly discontinued Pep, leaving behind the taste of post-war ambition and the promise that science could make even breakfast better. It didn't just feed America, it tried to improve it. The 1950s were more than a decade of recipes. They were a philosophy. Every meal was engineered. Every flavor was progress. From powdered drinks to frozen pies, America was learning how to eat the future. Some of these foods disappeared, but their spirit lives on. In every microwave meal, every instant mix, every new and improved promise on a grocery shelf. So next time you open a can or tear open a pouch, remember, you're tasting the dream that began in the kitchens of the 1950s. When convenience was king, flavor was fantasy, and the future came served on a silver tray. Maybe the past wasn't perfect, but it sure tasted like tomorrow.